This conference will now be recorded.
The scenario number 1 we executed, right? So do you have any doubts on that? Okay, did anyone configure the pricing? Are you able to do it pricing? Okay, so let me go to the yesterday we started with subcontracting, right? Okay, so yesterday we started with subcontracting and we created these individual materials. So we also able to create the stocks for these individual spare materials. Let me go to the SAP system. So we created the stocks for these individual materials. So these materials are now available in my company. Okay, so let me see the stocks of these materials. In which system we did it here? Let me go to MM03, MM60. In which system we created this? Is it something other system? Let me check. Okay, so in which system we created this? We created this. Now is it fine now?
Now it is okay, sir.
Okay. So now I think we created in the another server. Let me see. So that is, let me go to the another server. Mahesh. Okay, so I will see the stocks that we created for these materials. Okay, so we have a stock that is available under plant 3200 and storage location 0001, 1000 pieces. For the other material also, we have 1000 pieces available over here. Okay, let me execute this. So for this material we have 2000 numbers, and for this particular third material also we have 2000 numbers. Okay, so these are the individual spare materials which I have in my company. So I want to assemble these individual spare materials into one of the final material known as engine. So I need to create engine as a, these are the spare materials, and engine is a finished material, right? So these are spare materials and engine is a finished material. So I need to create engine as a, I will go to the MM01 transaction code. And I will select HALB. So I will try to create a semi-finished material as engine. So this is the plant and storage location details. So let us say engine assembly. I am creating an engine. Okay, I will select a valuation class as 7,900 and standard price is 5 rupees. Okay, so the material 500065704 is created. 65704. Okay, so this is the semi-finished material that is being created over here. Now, in my company, let us say I do not have a facility to assemble these individual materials into a final material. So there is one more nearest company known as a TVS Motors. Let us say I have a company TVS Motors. So he is having a facility and the skilled labor to assemble these individual materials into a final material. So in such cases, I will create one subcontracting purchase order and I will issue these components against that particular subcontracting purchase order, and he will take all these individual materials to his company premises and he will try to assemble them into a final material. Once assembly is completed, he will return back to me. So I need to create a TVS Motors as a one subcontracting vendor. I will create a vendor over here. I will go to XK01, company code is 3000, purchase organization is 3000, and account group is 0001. Let us say I am creating TVS Motors as a vendor. So 100622 is the vendor. He is the TVS Motors is the subcontracting vendor. So now what I will do, I will create a subcontracting purchase requisition. So the step number 1 in the subcontracting procurement process is create subcon purchase requisition. Before creating a subcontracting purchase requisition, I need to maintain two master data. One is a bill of material. So this is a final production planning related master data, not SAP MM. Normally, a production planning people will maintain. What is this bill of material? So the transaction code is to CS01. So I will go to the CS01 transaction code. And what is the material? What is the finished material? And that is 65704. And what is the plant? Plant is, what is the plant? 3200, right? And what is the bill of material usage? That is a production. You just select production and just click on enter. Okay, so to produce one engine assembly under plant 3200, how many each individual components are required? So these are the individual spare materials. I need this material 1, this 2, and this 2. Means to produce a one engine assembly, how many numbers of material? Number 1, spare part required. I required 1. Spare part 2, I required 2. Spare part 3, I required 2. And what is the item category over here? I will select here stock item. I will select a item category as a stock item. Okay, so I just click on enter button. So the meaning is, if you want to produce one engine assembly, you need one crankshaft, one inlet valve, one outlet valve. So that is nothing but a bill of material. So the bill of material is now created for the semi-finished material 50065770704. Now I need to create a subcon info record. Info record for the finished material. So the transaction code to maintain a info record is ME11. ME11 is the transaction code, and I will go to the ME11, and this is the vendor. 100622 is the vendor. This is the subcontracting finished material. This is purchase organization plant, and the info record category I need to select as a subcontracting. I will just click on enter. So per one piece assembly, I am going to pay to the subcontracting vendor 1,000 rupees. So I just maintained the subcontracting info record for the finished material, right? So I just maintained a subcontracting info record for the finished material, which it is nothing but yeah, you already know what is the info record, right? Info record will be used to store the prices. Okay, so I just maintained the info record. I will now go back and I will try to create a subcontracting purchase requisition. So how I will create? I will go to ME21N, ME51N, and I will select item category as L, right? It is nothing but a subcontracting. Then what is the subcontracting finished material? I need to create a subcontracting info record for the purchase or purchase requisition for the finished material, that is engine assembly. And how much quantity I am going to give it to the vendor? I am giving 1,000 numbers order to the subcontracting vendor. The plant is 3,200 and the storage location is 0001. Purchasing group is 000 and purchase organization is 3,000. So I will go to a material data. Here you see there is something known as a components. Components means I maintained a bill of material. I maintained a bill of material for one engine assembly. How many individual components are required? Okay, but here I ordered 1,000 engine assemblies, right? So I am raising a purchase or requisition for 1,000 engine assemblies. For 1,000 engine assemblies, I need a crankshaft of 1,000 numbers, inlet valve 2,000, outlet valve 2,000. It is automatically calculated. Okay, so let me now save it. So let me now save the purchase requisition. Okay, so the purchase requisition is 1004800. 1004800. Okay, let me now try to release this purchase requisition. I will go to ME54N. Okay, so there is a release strategy. So I will try to release this. We will try to save it. Now I will try to convert this particular purchase requisition into a purchase order. So how I will convert? So I will go to ME21N, create subcon PO. So I will go to ME21N. So the subcontracting vendor is 100622. So what is the purchase requisition? I will go to my purchase requisitions and I will select and I will copy. So I will just check. See, per engine I want to pay 1000 rupees. The 1000 rupees price is automatically taken over here into the PO. It is based upon the info record that I have maintained, right? So these are nothing but a subcontracting service charges. These are nothing but a subcontracting service charges. Alright, so I asked a vendor 100622 to assemble engine assembly. I will be providing 1000 crankshaft, 1000 inlet valve and 2000 outlet valve and 2000 inlet valve. By using these individual components, he is going to assemble 1000 engine assemblies. To assemble one engine, I am going to make a payment of 1000 rupees as a subcontracting service charges. So 1000 multiplied by 1000 engines, it will be a 10 lakh rupees is the total subcontracting value I need to pay. If he assembled 1000 numbers, I will pay 10 lakh rupees as a subcontracting service charges. Right, let me now click on check and save it. So the purchase order for the subcontracting procurement is 45000 22512 is now created. I will try to release this purchase order. So I will go to the, let us see if there is any release strategy over here. So there is no release strategy. So if you want to take out the printout of the purchase order, this is how it looks like. Okay, so this is the semi-finished material or finished material, and these are the individual components which are required. Okay, so the total value of the subcontracting charges is 10 lakhs. So this is the purchase order printout. If you want to take a printout, you can take and give it to the vendor. Okay, so let me now go to the, what is the next step? I created a subcontracting PO. Against this PO, I need to issue components to the subcontracting vendor. He will take all these components to his company and assemble them. So issue of components, component to subcon vendor. So what is the transaction code? Here it is a ME20. ME20 is the transaction code, which is nothing but a subcontracting stock monitor. So I will go to now we have stocks under our plant. We have stocks available under 3200 plant, right? For the individual materials, I need to issue these components to the subcontracting vendor. So I will take this material and I will say, presently for this material, the stock is available under 32000001 storage location. I want to now transfer these materials to the, I need to give this 1000 numbers to the subcontracting vendor. So how I am going to issue this? So I will go to there is one transaction code known as METO, which is nothing but a subcontracting stock monitoring for vendor. So this is the vendor and this is the plant. I will execute vendor. There is a subcontracting purchase order. What is the subcontracting purchase order? That is 2582 2512. Against this particular purchase order, I need to issue a crankshaft of 1000 numbers to the vendor. So I will select this inlet value 2000 numbers and outlet value 2000 numbers. Okay, so now I will just click on post goods issue, and when you click on post goods issue, when you are transferring a stock from your company stock to subcontracting vendor stock, a 541 movement type will be triggered. It is a standard movement type. If somebody asked what is the movement type that is getting triggered when you are transferring a material from the company to subcontracting vendor storage location, that is a 541. And from which storage location under 3200 I am going to transfer the stocks, that is 0001. So I need to put for the material number 1 the storage location from which I want to transfer the stocks is 0001. And for the material number 2 also 0001. And for material number 3 also 0001 for 2000 quantity. I just click on enter. So now the stocks are moved from my company premises to the subcontracting vendor premises. So I will just refresh it over here now. See what happened now. Earlier we have a stock of 3000 numbers available under 3200 plant. Now it got moved to a stock provided to vendor. So what is the stock provided to vendor? I will just double click it. So now the stock has moved to the TVS Motors vendor location. You see, so the stock is holding by a subcontracting vendor for the component or the spare material number 1. And what is for the spare material number 2? So for the spare material number 2 also 2000 numbers are transferred, and for the spare material number 3 also 2000 numbers are now transferred. 2000 numbers are now transferred. So he will come to our company and take these individual materials and will go to his manufacturing facilities, and he will try to assemble these individual materials into a final material known as engine assembly. Let us say he used these individual spare materials and completed a assembly for 1000 pieces of engine. Okay, then he will create a delivery challan. Along with that delivery challan, the completed or finished Hero Honda bikes will be returned back to our company, that is 3200 plant. So then you need to do a goods receipt for the subcontracting PO. For subcon PO. So what is my subcontracting PO? This is the one. I will try to post a goods receipt, right? So I will go to a MICO transaction code. I will go to MICO. మీ బ్రష్ పేస్ట్ చేసుకోండి ఆడమ్మ. సో చేసేసారా? ఓకే ఓకే, కూర్చోండి. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద గూడ్స్ రెసిప్ట్. టీవీ పెట్టి against a purchase order. So let me try to take this particular PO and I will try to click on enter button. Okay, let me see for 3200 what is the, okay. So now I am trying to do a goods receipt, right? So I will select and I am trying to do a engine assembly goods receipt. So I will just click on it over here. So for manufacturing 1000 engine assemblies, a crankshaft of 1000 numbers, inlet valve of 2000 numbers and outlet valve of 2000 numbers got issued to the subcontracting vendor. Now I will click on check and I will try to post. So now we were able to create a goods receipt for the subcontracting PO, that is 4950273 is the goods receipt document number. Okay, so let me now go back and I will see the history of the purchase order. I will go to ME23N. So I will go to the purchase order history. So this is the goods receipt. Okay, so but the goods receipt is posted in terms of USD. Okay, it should have posted in terms of INR, but it got posted for USD. No problem. So I will just click on material document and I will go to the header data. So I will go to the document information. So I will go to the financial documents. So these are the accounting documents that are created. So I will just go to the accounting document number 1. Okay, so I will also go to the accounting document number 2. Hello, what is your question? If part quantity received, let us say 500 in first order, how to, if part quantity is posted, you will do the posting for 500 quantity, right? Goods receipt. You will go to the MICO. So in the MICO, here in the material, right? Here you will select 500 numbers. Okay, you will select 500 numbers over here, not 1000. Okay, so I will go to the MMBE transaction code. So now I will see, I will go to MMBE. So I will see the stock for the finished material, right? So what is the stock for the finished material? So the stock for the finished material will be now 1000 numbers. So the 1000 numbers is IDDA goods receipt for the finished material. So 1000 numbers are now available in my company 32000001 storage location. At the same time, what happened to the components which I have given? So the component stock will become 0 at the subcontracting vendor location. Why it will become 0? Because he utilized these individual components and produced or manufactured a final material known as engine. So for this semi-finished, for this component, the stock will be become 0, right? Earlier we have 1000 numbers. And for the inlet valve also we will see a 0 stock. Why? Because he utilized these individual spare materials in assembling a final material. So that is the reason when you do a goods receipt, the stock of the finished material is getting created, and subsequently the stock of the components which you have given to the subcontracting vendor will be consumed in the back end. So what are the financial postings when you do a goods receipt? So the financial postings when you do a goods receipt for the subcontracting process is the RAM individual components, like these components are consumed in the back end when you do a goods receipt. So for these individual materials or the components, there will be a financial postings. What are those financial postings? See, this is the spare material number 1. For spare material number 1, your BSX is getting credit, and GBB, nothing but a consumption account, raw material consumption account, is getting debit. So for the components, the BSX is nothing but a inventory of the consumable or the spare material number 1 is getting negative sign over here, right? Is getting credited for 10,000 USD. So inventory of the consumable materials is getting credit. And for the GBB is nothing but a consumption account for the components. These component stock became 0, right? That is nothing but a consumption is getting debit. So this is for the spare material number 1. Spare material number 1 known as, let us say, crankshaft. Same entry will be there for the spare material number 2. Inlet valve. Same entry will be there for the spare material number 3. Why? Because we have 3 spare materials to assemble a final material. Okay, so these are the postings that are happening for the spare materials. Then we have one more accounting document created, that is, so these entries are for the, when you create a subcontracting PO, these materials consumed parallelly, the stock of this engine assembly also got increased. So for the stock increase of this final material will also be a financial postings. What are those financial postings? Your BSX, your BSX of the finished material, that is finished material BSX is getting a debit, right? It is positive, that means it is a debit. Then WRX of the finished material, nothing but a GRIR clearing account, is getting credit. Then the inventory BSV, right? BSV is nothing but a change in inventory account is getting credit, right? Change in inventory account is credit, and FRL is nothing but a subcontracting service charge. Contracting service charges you are going to debit. Subcontracting service charges are 1,000 rupees you are paying for engine. So he manufactured 1,000 engines. So 1,000 multiplied by 1,000, it will be a 10 lakhs rupees is the subcontracting service charges, which is nothing but a FRL account is getting debit. Okay, so this is very, very important. So you just need to keep these postings in mind at any moment of time. Why? Because any interview there will be definitely a question upon a subcontracting procurement scenario. Any interview, if you take 10 interviews, 9 interviews will have a subcontracting process related question. Okay, so then with this we are able to do a goods receipt. Now I will try to do the invoice verification. I need to make a payment for 10 lakh rupees to the vendor, right? So how I will make? I need to process a invoice against the subcontracting service charges. So how I will do that? I will go to the MIRO. So today's date, I will give something invoice number, and what is the PO number? So the PO number is this one. Okay, so I'm going to pay a 10 lakh rupees as a subcontracting service charges. Right, I will select a calculate tax. So including tax, I need to pay 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs 10,000 rupees total value. So I will be inputting same thing over here. 1210,000. This is the total invoice value. I'm going to click on simulate and post it. So a invoice of 510560, five six zero 9542 is created. So for the subcontracting charges, then I will try to run a payment run, right? So I posted a invoice. So I need to make the payment as per the agreed terms, right? Today I posted invoice. Let us say my payment is immediately due. So I need to, the payment run program, which is executing by using a F110 by the finance team, will pick this particular invoice for the payment. So the transaction code is F110, and I will try to execute F110. So run date is today's date, and the identification number is, let us say I will use any identification number. I will go to the parameter, the company code is 3000, payment methods. So how I am going to make a payment? Am I going to make a bank transfer or something else? I just need to select a relevant payment method, and the next posting date, let me select something. And the vendor, who is the vendor? The vendor is 100622. So I will go to the fee selection, and I will go to additional log, and I will input the vendor number 100622. So this is the standard way of running a payment run. Okay, you just need to follow these steps. That's it. Why you are doing all those things? you just need to select these things. This is the way you need to create a payment run program. So I will try to save it, and I will go back, and I will try to click on proposal, and I will try to create a proposal. See, the payment proposal is now created. I will go to the proposal. So an amount of 19836.06 INR total currency amount. I think, is it getting created in USD? Okay, so we will see. Not this. I will go to the FBL1 transaction code at the finance side. And I will try to execute for this vendor. See, an amount of 19836 USD. So 19836 USD is nothing but a 10 lakhs rupees. Let us say 19836 multiplied by 70. How much it will be coming? It will be coming almost a 10 lakhs rupees, right? 10, not 12 lakhs rupees. It is coming including tax, right? Let us say 19836, right? 19836 multiplied by 70, let us say. So it is coming up to some 13 lakhs like that. Okay, so this is the way you need to execute a subcontracting procurement scenario. Okay, so apart from the subcontracting, so we have a next scenario that is known as a consignment procurement process. Okay, so any doubts on the subcontracting procurement scenario? It is a little bit lengthy process, but this is a way you need to create a subcontracting process. Is it clear for everyone?
Sir, if you interviewer asked the subcontracting scenario, what are the major steps we have to explain?
Everything, whatever may be the steps I explained you, right? You need to create the stocks for individual materials first, then create bill of material, then create a info record, then create purchase requisition, purchase order, component issue and goods receipt, then invoice process and the payment run. Most importantly, the postings that are happening. Okay, so everything you need to explain. Okay, so any other doubts you have?
Sir, what are the movement types will come against goods receipt here?
541 when you issue a component, right? 541 is when you issue a component. When you do a goods receipt, there is a standard movement type 101. When you do a 101, the consumption of the components are happening in the back end, right? So the consumption will be taken care by 543. So these are the three movement types. So consumption of components. Okay, so these are the three movement types which you are going to get in the subcontracting scenario. 541 is when you issuing components, 101 is goods receipt, and 543 is the consumption that is happening for these individual components. Okay, so do you have any other questions? This is very important scenario. Every interview will have a questions related to the subcontracting. Okay, so So try to practice this. I don't want to load you with you try. If you are able to do this particular subcontracting, it is well and good. Okay. So then the next scenario is a consignment procurement process. So consignment procurement process, we will see it on tomorrow's session. Okay then. So try to practice it and let me know if you have any queries. Okay then. Thanks for joining the call. Bye bye.